What's up guys, Zaid here, and today I'm going to be going over every single card that is coming out in Photon Hypernova. This set, I believe, comes out February 10th, which is about 3 months away from now. And this is not going to be a super in-depth like breakdown on every card in the set. More so just a first look for me and a first look for you. I'll also leave the download link to Dueling Book in the description. So if you want to follow along and read as I'm reading them, go ahead, click that, and you'll have this whole little thing pulled up for you to look at. And if you guys want to see more content in relation to this set, then make sure you're subscribed and you're coming back to check it out, because after I do this breakdown, I then plan on really looking at each archetype that is in this set and exploring it with the new cards coming out. And so yeah, that's going to be the video. Make sure y'all watch it. And if you just take the download link to this and go read it on your own, let this play in the background or click an ad or something. Help your boy out. Hit the subscribe button. Do something to make up for it. If not, then I guess I can't force you to do your thing, but I'm going to start reading these Johns. There's 80 cards, by the way. I'm literally just going to go Monster, Spell, Trap, and then Extra Deck. We're just going to go in order of what they are. And so to start, we got Photon Emperor. New Photon support. Level 8 Light Warrior, 28 attack, 1000 defense. If this card's sent to the graveyard, except from the field, and you have another Photon or Galaxy monster in your field, or on your field or in your graveyard, you could special this card in defense position. You can only use this effect once per turn. After you normal or special this card, you can normal summon one light monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summon set. So if this recurs itself, you get an additional normal, or if you summon it, you get an additional normal. I don't know the Galaxy strategy to know if that's good or not, but it seems fine, I guess. Next we got Galaxy Summoner, level 4 light spellcaster, 16 attack, 14 defense. If this card's normal or special, target a Photon or Galaxy in your grave, special summon and defense. So it's a Wolf Bark type card. You can target one other light monster you control that has a level. Its level becomes 4. So this can reborn anything and then turn a light into a level 4. Kind of cool. You can make a Dweller out of it. We got Galak Haribo. This card's always treated as a Galaxy card. It's a light level 1 Fiend, 300 attack, 200 defense. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, discard this card, special Photon Eye or Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your hand or deck, then change the attack target to it. Then you can attach this card from your graveyard to one XYZ monster on the field as material. If a Photon and or Galaxy monster you control will be destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect, you could banish this card from your graveyard instead. So those are both cool effects, actually. The guy that it summons, I believe, is 3k attack, so it's almost like an Honest, because they're going to attack, you're going to summon it, now they're forced to redeclare, and it's going to kill their guy. Next we have Bestial Baldrake. This is one of the few cards I've already read. This card is God tier. This is the best Bestial monster, I believe. This card, same as the other Bestials, level 6 Dark Dragon, 25 attack, 2000 defense. Target a light or dark in either graveyard, banish it, special this card. This is a quick effect if your opponent controls a monster. If your opponent special summons a Fusion, Ritual, Synchro, Exe, or Link, so extra deck mechanic or Ritual, you contribute one other light or dark monster, then target one of those special summon monsters and banish it. You can only use each effect once per turn. This card is absolutely bonkers, because like, it's already just a hand trap like it is, like any of the other Bestials are. But if you have this in tandem with another Bestial, it's a second interruption. And if that Bestial happens to be Druid Worm, it's a third interruption now. So say you open this plus Druid Worm, right? And you're playing against Tier Element. They go Merly effect, banish with Baldrake. They go Sheeran effect, banish with the other one. What's the other one I just said? Druid Worm. And then they try to special summon, effect a Baldrake, tribute the Druid Worm, banish the guy they specialed. Now effect a Druid Worm, send a special summon monster to the grave. So 2 hand traps are going to get you 4 interruptions plus a body, which it's God tier. Like, I can't think of a better card than this. Like, this is the best they could have designed this card, outside of giving it just like a hard negate. It's crazy. Next we got Sword Soul support, I guess. Sword Soul Dragon of the Abyss, level 8 Fire Worm, 3000 attack, 29 defense. Just looking at the level and stuff, I'm already assuming this card's going to be bad. Cannot be normal summon set, must be specialed by the effect of a worm. If a monster is banished by card effect, you could special this card from your graveyard if it was there when the monster was banished, or hand even if not. But banish it when it leaves the field. Banished by card effect, which kind of sucks because She's Out banishes for cost, but the level 9 Synchro, the newer one that lets you draw, I forget its name, but that one banishes for card effect. If this card is special summoned, target one card on the field. You could target one card in the field zone and one monster your opponent controls are in their graveyard, banish them. So this is fine. Like, going into the Tier Element matchup, this is kind of cool if you were to end on like the level 9 with this in hand, you'd like get to banish a card when they special this, banish the field spell, banish a card. But I don't really see it being that practical. Maybe like a one of because it's searchable, but I don't know. We'll see. Next we got Kashachira Rise Heart. I don't know how to pronounce this deck. Kashtira? But I've heard it called Kashatri. I think like Kashatri Law was the OCG name if I'm not mistaken. But Kishtira Rise Heart, level 4 Fire Warrior 1521. That's big defense for a level 4. It can also be searched off Rhoda. If you control a Kashtira monster, you could special this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Exes. During your main phase, if this card was normal or special summon, you can banish a Kashatri card from your deck, except this card, then banish the top 3 of your opponent's deck face down, and if you do, this card's level becomes 7. So this card can turn itself into a level 7 basically by banishing 3 from the top of their deck. And a card from your deck. I don't know if any of the Kashtiras trigger when banished. If they do, that could be cool. What's next? Scareclaw Kashtira. So it's a little mix of both archetypes. During the main phase, quick effect, specialist card from your hand, and if you do banish a Kashtira or Scareclaw card from your hand or graveyard, you can only use this effect once per turn. This card can attack while in face-up defense position. Oh, it's 26 defense. I forgot to say the stat line on this. 26 defense, level 7 Earth. If it does apply its defense for the damage. Any effects of any opponent's monster that battles are negated. So it's an Armades that can attack in defense, and you could special it by banishing one from your hand or grave. It's kind of fine. Like, I don't know. It's a level 7 extender, which in the Kashtira deck is good. I don't think the attacking from defense matters that much. Like, they probably could have just made it 26 attack and made it a normal card, but Konami likes to make weird cards like that sometimes. Can't be Mirror Force, I guess. And then the Armades effect is kind of cool because it gives it to all your guys attacking. And this is a format where I don't really know if that's that relevant, to be honest. So, because against Sprite, Armades isn't that good. Because it's not even Armades. They can still use spell traps. So the effects of the monsters are negated. And all like the all the things tier element end on their board, if it gets attacked over, it doesn't really matter. They only float by card effects. Sprite doesn't float at all. So like this card, honestly, that effect's pretty mid. I don't know why I spent so long talking about that one. But to hell with it. Then we got Tierlement's Kashtira. He's a water level 7 psychic, 23 attack, 12 defense. During the main phase, quick effect, special this card, or the main phase, you can do it on your opponent's turn too. You can special this card from your hand, and if you do, banish a Kashtira or tier elements from your hand or grave. If this card's normal or special, send the top 3 card of either player's deck to the grave. If this card's sent to the graveyard by card effect, mill 2. So some cool things with that, honestly. It's just like another mill 3 on your opponent's turn, another like haveness. But it also can like just sometimes it's kind of a counter to a Bisted. Sometimes you'll like haveness mill 3, you'll hit a name, activate the name, and then they'd use their bestial monster on the name that you're activating. You could chain this, banish the name since you're not going to get your thing anyways. Summon this, mill 3, try again, and now they're still going to have the Bisted in their hand, but they can't use it again. They don't get the body, and you have another chance to hit a name, which might be good. I don't know actually, but this card seems neat. It's cool that the deck gets an extender. But I don't know like how powerful it really is. Next we got Chaos Witch. You contribute this. Oh, I remember reading this one actually. Level 4 Dark Spellcaster 1515. Any card that has Chaos in the name, it's hard to not just like read, you know? So when I was putting this list together, I had read this one. You contribute this card, special 2 tokens, Fiend Dark level 2, attack with K, defense 500. And then if this card is banished from the hand or graveyard, you could special 2 White Beast tokens, Fairy Light Tuner, level 2, 500 attack, 1000 defense. But you cannot special from the extra deck except for light and dark synchro monsters the turn you use one of these effects. Yeah, so that kind of sucks. It locks you to light and dark synchros, but for decks that are already only making light and dark synchros, this card is kind of crazy. Next we got Shell of Chaos. Cannot be normal summon set, must be special by a card effect. If this face-up card would leave the field, banish it instead. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. Banish a light monster from your hand or graveyard, special from your hand. Also, you cannot special except for light and dark synchros. If this card's special summon, target one of your banished Core of Chaos, special summon it. What's Core of Chaos? I guess that's the next card. Thunder Tuner effect, 0 attack, 16 defense, light level 2. Must or cannot be normal summon set. Must be special by card effect. If this face-up card would leave the field, banish it. Can only use each effect once per turn. You can banish a dark from your hand or grave. Special this card from your hand. Also, same condition, lock to light and dark synchros. If it's special, target one your banished Shell of Chaos and special it. So both of these cards banish each other to summon and then special each other back. So it's just like level 6 synchro plays, which is kind of cool. Which, currently we don't have great level 6 synchros, but there, hint hint, is one in this set that's kind of bonkers. Next we got Mind Tuner. Psychic Tuner, 200 attack, 21 defense, level 3 light. You can only activate one of these effects per, you can only use, yeah, you can only activate one of these effects. You can only use this effect of Mind Tuner once per turn. Banish up to 2 monsters from your hand or graveyard. 1 light and a dark. Increase this card's level by the number banished. Wait, did it say up to? I'm confused. So it says up to 2 from your hand or graveyard, 1 light and 1 dark. So you can, if you only banish 1, it has to be a light or a dark. And then increase or decrease the level by 2 or 1. And target up to 2 your banished monsters, light and dark. Return them to the graveyard, and then increase or decrease the level. So you can either be proccing things that get effects when banished, or you could be, what's it called? Putting things back to then banish again. Kind of a cool card. E-Tele target too. Chaos. Ooh, that being an E-Tele target's actually kind of cool. You could like E-Tele this out and banish a Thunder Dragon from your grave to reduce the level to 2, and then use like Roar effect, a special Roar. Now you can make a level 8 synchro. Like just, there could be some cool lines with that. I don't know. Chaos Mirage Dragon, level 4 light Worm Tuner. Ooh, being a Worm Tuner is kind of important to me. This could be a good Sword Soul card, depending on what it does. You can target a banished light or dark monster, special it to your field, but negate its effects. Also, you can't special from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except light and dark synchros. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a synchro material, target cards your opponent controls up to the number of other materials used, banish them. Oh, this doesn't have a way to special itself, though. Target a banished light or dark, special it to your field, but negate its effects. I want to see something. Sword Soul. I think... So this guy's light, this is fire, this is water. So you could still make cheese out after the restriction of this. It's probably not a good Sword Soul card, to be honest. We'll see, though. Maybe there's a way. The fact that it's a level 4 tuner is kind of cool. And it's a worm, so that's why I was thinking Sword Soul. Bio Insect Armor, level 5 Earth. Insect, 15 attack, 2000 defense. If this card is in your hand or graveyard and you do not control Bio Insect Armor, target an insect monster you control. Equip this card to it, but banish it when that equipped monster... when they leave the field. You only use this effect once per turn. A monster equipped to this card gains 15 attack, 2000 defense during the battle phase and main phase 2 only. So you can... I think this card's kind of ass, to be honest. But I guess we'll see. Like, Insect is already not a good strategy, and I don't think a 1500 attack boost is what's going to put it there. Another Insect, though. Giant Ant Lion. Level 3 Earth Insect. I also don't like level 3 that much. I feel like I'd rather than be like level 4. Once per turn at the start of the damage step, if an insect battles, target a card your opponent controls and one card you target one card you control and one your opponent controls, destroy them. Oh, damn it, I moved off it. You can only use this once per turn. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, special this card from your hand. If this card's normal or special, to equip one insect from your hand or graveyard to this card as an equipped spell that gives 500 attack and defense. Again, this is not what I think insects need to be good. Abyss Actor, Liberty Dramatist? I think that's how you would say that, Dramatist. This is going to be a bitch to read because there's so much. When a monster declares an attack, discard a card, special this to your... What? That first effect is kind of garbage, not going to lie, unless there's something that makes it good. This card's special summon from the Pendulum Zone. The card's owner reveals 3 Abyss script spells from their deck. Oh, what the heck? I accidentally did the center click on my mouse and now DB's like being weird. Let's refresh that. You'll see what I'm talking about? I just got this like thing here now. That's annoying. And I ain't even editing this out. That's too much work. We're just rolling with it. And it's still weird, but oh well. What card was I reading? This one. So if this card is special summoned from the Pendulum Zone, this card's owner reveals 3 script spells from their deck. Their opponent randomly picks one of them to set, and the rest are shuffled in. If This card is destroyed. Shuffle one from your graveyard into the deck. So you give them a body, but then you get to add a spell. I don't like this card so far. This card's kind of like bad, honestly. I don't know. The deck's already not good. Why doesn't it just summon your own side of the field? Like, there better be something that came out for this deck that makes you want to give them a card. Geo the Weighted Ninja. Rock, 23, 29, 8, Earth. You can search it off Gigantic. This card's normal, special, or flip. Target up to 2 face-up monsters on the field. Change them to face-down defense. Opponent's monsters change to face-down defense by this effect. Cannot change their battle positions. This, if any judges are watching, let me know. Like, if this leaves the field, can they still not be changed? If so, that makes the card better than currently. If not, it sucks so far. If another monster on the field's flip face-up, well, this is face-up on the field. You can target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. That's actually a pretty good card. If like I don't know the ninja strategy that well, but I assume they have ways to cheat big guys out. That's what they were back in the day. They used to use continuous traps to cheat big guys out. So hopefully they still do that. And if so, this card could be good. Like, if there's a really easy way to trigger it out, on summon you just book 2, and then you also potentially have a pop if something flips. I don't know if the archetype has ways to flip though. New Gishki card is kind of cool. Gishki Grim, Earth, level 2, Fish, 600 attack, 700 defense. If you ritual summon exactly one water ritual monster with a card effect that requires use of monsters, this can be used as the entire tribute. So, I mean, randomly that works with like Nekroz too. I can't think of any other light ritual monsters. If this card is normal or special, it's special at Gishki from your deck. Also, you can't declare an attack for the rest of this turn except with ritual monsters. That could be cool, summoning a Gishki straight from the deck. I don't know which ones are relevant, but it could be nice. Plus, it's a full ritual fodder. A new Evil Eye card. I don't know much about this strategy either. Level 3, Dark, Fiend, 1000 attack, 2000 defense. If this card's in your hand or graveyard and you control an Evil Eye monster, you can special this card but banish it when it leaves the field. During the opponent's turn, you can quick effect. Link summon an Evil Eye using materials you control. And then when you do, you can treat Evil Eye equip spells you control as monsters and use them for material. That's really strong. Also, something to point out is it's level 3 with a grave effect. So the archetype, if it already has level 3s or if it wants to play some level 3 extenders, can use like Chirubini. A new generator boss monster. Vera Sadher of the generator bosses. It's fairy level 9, it looks like. Something like that. Yeah, level 9, fire, 25, 25. You can only control one of her. Use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card's in your hand or graveyard, send another generator card from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. If this card's special summon, special generator from your hand or grave. I kind of like that. Also, it's kind of hot. I'm grabbing my fan real quick. Give me one sec. I just be treating this video like a live stream with how long it's going to be. Just like coming in and out. I had a technical difficulty and we ain't editing this. This is a one take. If I got to sit here and read 80 cards, y'all got to too. God damn it. Tree Crown Emperor Bagram. This doesn't look like an archetype, but it's an insect, so it's one of them. Level 9 Earth insect, 34 attack, 29 defense. This card is huge. Can't be normal summon set. Must be special by banishing 3 insects or plants from your hand or graveyard. Whew, that's like a fine summoning condition. It's kind of steep, but the insect deck, if it's comboing, I think puts a lot of cards in grave, so it's probably fine. Also, let me lower that a little bit. Your opponent cannot activate monster effects in response to the activation of your spell, trap cards, and effects. Oh my god, and it also is a board wipe. Once per turn, destroy all face-up monsters on the field except insect and plants. This card is really good. If it was a quick effect, it would be like bonkers. But this card lets you just summon it, and then all your spell traps can't be interrupted, so it's decent going second. Also, board wipe is really good going second. The insect strategy has ways to search this, and so I actually really like this card. This ain't enough to like make the deck tiered or anything, but it's a rogue deck that now just has a little bit more in its arsenal. Manticore of Smashing, level 6 fire, Beast Warrior, 23 attack, 1000 defense. During the main phase, add Fissure or Smashing Ground from your deck to your hand. If this card's in your graveyard, you could banish Fissure or Smashing Ground from your hand or graveyard. Special this card. You only use each effect once per turn. This is a really cute card, and it makes me think of like old formats where you'd actually play those cards. Dude, if this card was out in like 2003, this would have been meta-defining, but I think this card is dog shit now, and you also have to play really bad cards in your deck to even utilize it. So I kind of wasted my time even reading this. Choju of the Trillion Hands, level 6 fairy, light, 24 or 14 attack, 1000 defense. I read this card online already, and I like this card a lot. If this card's summoned, add a ritual and a ritual spell from your deck to your hand. It obviously sucks you have to tribute summon it, but the fact you get to add both is really cool. I think this could be nifty in a deck like Drytron, where they, like, their normal summon is usually used on Diviner, and Diviner is going to dump something to search and then make itself level 6. So they already kind of want to be summoning the level 6. But this one you have to tribute for, so you're going to have to tribute one of your Drytron names. So it's one less extender on body, but you're searching an additional card. Not saying this will be played in a deck like Drytron, but the options there, it's definitely something to consider. Like, is the trade-off of the additional search worth having to tribute it? And then we've got Fierce Tiger Manghu. Sounds like I think this is the guy that Tiger King is in charge of. Level 4 Earth Beast, 17 attack, 1000 defense. All other monsters lose 500 attack. Once per turn, destroy all monsters on the field with less attack than this card. Ooh, bless me. This card's kind of trash. Moving on. Hexenridge Master Fairy. Level 3. Its name is Fairy, and it's not a fairy. And it kind of looks like a fairy, too. But it's an insect tuner. Wind, level 3, 800 attack, 15 defense. There's an insect or plant in either grave. Special this card from your hand. You can only special him once per turn this way. If this card uses a synchro material for an insect or a plant, you can treat it as a non-tuner. So a tuner / non-tuner extender for plant and insect decks. Actually a kind of cool card. I can't tell you what this would see play in, but I honestly feel like it will in something. Just like a random example is like what's it called? Sunseed deck. Maybe there's a chance that this level 3 tuner could be paired to make something, but I think they lock you into plants. So I don't know. We'll have to see how this card gets utilized, but I think it will be utilized somehow. Silver Winged Axe Sari, level 3 light machine effect monster. 500 attack, 100 defense. Quick effect, target one face-up monster on the field. Equip this card from your hand or field to it as an equip card. Or as an equip spell that gives it 100 attack and defense. You can only use this once per turn. This is the worst card I've read yet. I would rather be playing Fierce Tiger Manghu in my deck. Couple of aces. By the art, the level, the name, I think this card's going to be garbage, but we'll see. Level 2 Earth Fairy, 100 attack and defense. This card's in your hand. You can toss a coin, and if the result's head, special this card to your field. And if it's tails, special it to your opponent's field. If summoned this way, draw 2 cards. Yikes. I'm pretty sure that means if you summon it to your opponent's field, they're the ones drawing the 2. So this is like you're playing Cup of Ace in your deck, but you also give yourself or them a level 2 extender. So it's again like very hit or miss. This card I actually could see application for in like a Mystic Mind strategy, because if you're going first, you have the potential to draw 2 cards. And if you whiff, they draw 2, but you could put the Mystic Mine out turn 0 now because they control a monster. So, I mean, like, this card's probably not going to be good, but there's probably applications. Dimensional Isolatrope Varus, level 1 Psychic Tuner. Based on Dimensional in the name, I'm assuming this does something when banished. Can't be destroyed by battle with monster with the same type or attribute. You can declare one type, one attribute. This becomes this. Oh, this card's awful. This is like the worst card ever. There's a lot of garbage cards in this set so far. Media Rush, Black White Roid. Machine, level 10, Earth, 0/0. That is level 10, right? Yeah, level 10. So we're thinking about trains when we read this card. During the battle phase, if 5 or more attacks are declared, you could special this card from your hand. If this card battles, gain 1,000 for each attack the turn player declared this turn. Okay, so thinking about trains in particular, this card's also garbage because typically I think they're going for game with like the Juggernaut Libel, or however you pronounce it, the one that you detach and it gains attacks, but it's usually only gaining 2 additional attacks, and it's usually 4 to 6k attack. And if that's not enough to kill them, I don't think this card is going to be what you want. Like, I think I'd rather just have extenders that get me to what the end goal already is. It might end up being played in it, but it doesn't seem good so far. Hiding Sea, level 7 Earth, Insect, 1325. Couple things to consider. It's a sea card, so this might be a good hand trap. It also is an insect, so we might want to be thinking about insect decks when we read it. When your opponent special summons a monster, you can special this from your hand and face down defense, and if you do, change it to face up defense during the end phase. Oh, this is a cool. If this card is flipped face up during the end phase, destroy all special summon monsters on the field. Yeah, so it summons itself face down. At the end phase, it flips up and nukes all special summons. So, this card, you would have to, like, really think about right now, like, what it could be good against. And I don't think anything in our current meta, but this could see play in the future. Some things to consider. It has to flip at the end phase. And that means that if you use it, chances are they're going to try to interrupt it. And so I think it's going to take a skilled player and a certain matchup for this card to be good, because you're going to have to like really know what your opponent's deck is trying to do, what their end board is, and you're going to want to put this up prior to them putting up any negates to negate it, but also when they're far enough in a combo where they won't have the resources to just like throw something out to stop it. So like this, the more I think about it, this card's actually kind of just bad. Yeah, I can't really see a world where you play it. It does kind of have synergy with that other insect we read that is huge. Or, that not huge, the one that had the flip effect. I forget which one it was, but yeah, this... I don't think this card's really going to be good. We're almost halfway through the main deck cards, though. That feels kind of good. If you guys are still here and enjoying this vast amount of reading, give your boy a like and sub for it. I'm going crazy. White Zoa of Dogmatica. I think this is level 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. Light, Spellcaster, Ritual, 4K attack and defense. You can Ritual summon this card with Dogmatic Calamity. Cannot be Ritual summoned except with a Dogmatica card effect. Dogmatica monsters are unaffected by your opponent's activated extra deck types. During your main phase, make your opponent choose one of these effects. Send a card from their hand or extra deck to the graveyard for every 2 cards in the... Oh, that's nice. Ooh. Yeah, so they're like never going to send from hand. So this is going to make them dump half their extra deck or proc hand effects, actually. Sucks they get the choice, but it's going to send 7 if you're going first. 7 cards from hand or extra deck to graveyard. If there's a way to strip your opponent's extra deck, like I know there's a trap that this is not a quick effect, right? Yeah. I know there's a trap that lets you banish all cards from both players' extra decks. It used to be good in a Master Duel, in like those burn decks that people were playing. And so, if there was a spell card that could do something like that, there would be a hand loop with this. Otherwise, you're going to send extra deck cards and cards from hand or graveyard. But they get to choose, and a lot of extra decks play cards with effects, and hands play cards with effects. Like, say I'm playing Tier Element and my opponent hits me with this. I have to send 7 from the extra deck, so I'm for sure going to send Kit Kalos, which will mill 5. Garura, that'll draw a card, and then maybe I'll send like one more fusion to use as fusion material, maybe like Kalos or something. I don't know, but then I'm gonna like also send some tears from hand if I have any, and I'm gonna get my mill 5. So like this card in the current meta is dog shit. It could be good in the future, but it ain't now. Oh, it had a second effect. Return all extra deck types they control to the extra deck. This is cool, and it's unaffected by their extra deck types. Does it say monster you control? Yeah, sadly it says you control, but that's still really good. So if this guy lands, you can nuke the board usually. Evo Gishki looks like it's level 10 or 11. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Evo Gishki Neriamanis. Water, level 10, Spellcaster, Ritual. This does not look like a Spellcaster. Oh, I guess it's the card isn't this fish. The fish is just its mount. I guess this Spellcaster is this little guy with the wand, which makes sense. You can Ritual this with any Gishki Ritual spell. If this card's Ritual summoned, you can target a water in your graveyard, special summon it. Can't be destroyed by battle with a monster special from the extra deck. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, return a Gishki Ritual you control to the hand, negate the activation if you do shuffle that card in the deck. I like this card. This is pretty strong. I mean, obviously the Gishki strategy is not that great that we know of, but this, giving them a monster negate in the arsenal, just makes it still probably not a tiered deck, but it gives it some support, I guess. Now we're moving on to the spells. We finally read every single main deck monster coming out in the new set. Starting with the spells, we've got Galaxy 100. When this card's activated, send a Galaxy or Photon card from your deck to the graveyard. That's already good. Oh, it's a continuous spell. I don't know if I said that. If Galaxy Eye Photon is special summoned to your field, you can look at your opponent's extra deck, then apply one of these effects. Banish a monster from it, and special a number monster from it to your side of the field. The first example I could think that would make this card really good is a Hope Harbinger being in people's extra decks. Let's just type in number. So, Honor Arc's not played anymore. Big Eye could end up seeing play with Kshatriy Law. Numeron's not really good. This card sees play occasionally, and you could summon it from their deck. That could be strong. Same with this dude. He's an Omni. Not an Omni Negate. I think he's a Spell Trap Negate. Oh, no. He is an Omni Negate, but he's forced to negate the first one. What other number monsters are, like, meta relevant? Ooh, actually, this is one. This one, you're not really getting a good effect if you were to take out of their extra deck, but it's link fodder, at least. This card sees play occasionally when rank 3 decks are good, though. Gossip Shadow. That looks to be about it. Let me know if there's one I missed. Utopic Draco Future. If you were to take this, that would feel really good. It wouldn't get the negate because it wouldn't have materials, but it would still be like unaffected by stuff, I think. So this is a really cool card, actually. I like this. This might make me have to read some of the other Galaxy cards, because like the dump is good because we read this card. It's got a grave effect. This card has a grave effect, and this recurs from grave. So this is already a really good like extender. And then if you were to special summon that guy, you get to look at their extra deck and either banish a key piece or potentially get a negate depending on what your opponent's extra deck is. Numeron Creation. If 3 or more Light Dragon monsters with... Oh, this is a normal spell, by the way. Always treat it as a Galaxy card. If 3 or more Light Dragon monsters with 3,000 or more original attack are on the field, special a number XYZ from your extra deck, then attach this to it. This is kind of bad, I feel like. Unless it's searchable somehow, because... You have to have a lot going for you already, but I could see if you're full comboing and there's a card that searches it that happens to be also like one of the cards that help meet the requirements, I could see this being good. But in a vacuum, just what I'm reading, this card is kind of dog water. Great Ice Jade Manifestation. If your opponent has a monster on their field or in their graveyard and you control water, take an Ice Jade from your deck, send it to the grave or special it. That's not bad. It requires a lot, though. If a face-up Ice Shade you control leaves the field by opponent's card, you can banish this card from your grave, then target a card. Oh, it happened again. God damn it, Dueling Book. Why is this happening? Well, I'm going to finish reading this card. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a card your opponent controls. Banish it. You can only use each effect of Manifestation once per turn. This is so annoying that it keeps doing this. I just got to refresh my Dueling Book again. I'm going to close these other tabs while I'm at it. And now look at it, it's still got this little blob on it. Why am I getting this blob? Deck Constructor. And another, I ain't cutting it out, so y'all, I hope you enjoyed the intermission. Grab your popcorn, back to reading. We're on Tally-Ho Spriggans. You can, when you activate this card, you can also detach up to 3 materials from monsters you control. Add a Spriggans from your deck to your hand, then if you detach materials... You can special summon that many monsters, Spriggans from your hand or graveyard. This card's kind of crazy. It's also a weird extender, though, because you already have to be playing, so you have to have an XYZ on board for it to really be good. If this card is in your graveyard, target XYZ monster on the field, detach, and then add this card to your hand. You only use 1 effect per turn. It kind of reminds me of Branded in High Spirits in the sense that the turn you activate it, it's a pretty like good power spell, but it also on the next turn can add itself back. So it's gonna like give you follow up as the game progresses. I don't know much about Spriggans, but if it's like a turn 0 go full combo kill you deck, the adding back's not that relevant, but the specialing through is crazy. And if it's like a 3 to 5 turn grind you out and then kill you deck, then both effects are really really good. Dogmaticatrix. Dogmaticatrix. I don't know how to pronounce this. They're trying to say Dogmatica and Matrix. Dogmaticatrix. It doesn't sound good, though, when I say it. When this card's activated, add a Dogmatica ritual monster or ritual spell from your deck to your hand. Then if your opponent controls a monster, add a Dogmatica card from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, if you control a Dogmatica ritual... Good thing the Dear Servant does not say Dogmatica. Once per turn, if you control a Dogmatica ritual, you can look at your opponent's or either player's extra and send a monster from it to the graveyard. That's kind of cool because you can either proc your own effect, something like in Herald of Orange or Arclight or something, or you could look at theirs and strip a card. Plus, as we saw, they already have ways to strip. So say you resolved this and sent 7 of their cards already. You could snipe like one of the 8 they left, but I don't know. Ripping your opponent's extra deck seems like a bad win con in tier element format. But this could come up later in Yu-Gi-Oh's time. Branded Light. Ooh, new branded card. Target a fusion monster. Ooh, and it's a quick play. Target a fusion monster on the field or in either graveyard. Return it to the extra deck. Then you could special summon 1 Fallen of Albaz from your graveyard and 1 monster from your opponent's graveyard to their owner's fields. So there's a specific line I was thinking of while reading this that actually seems kind of powerful. Say I've got my Fallen Albaz and Grave, right? And I'm against tier elements. They go, summon Reinhardt, dump a name effect, shuffle, grab Murley, or make Kit Kalos, search Murley, Kit Kalos tribute special, mill 8. And then they hit a name and they activate the name. I could chain the light, put back the Kit Kalos, and now the name's going to be forced to resolve, and I'm going to special out the Albaz. Chances are... Oh, and I get to summon one of their monsters. So now I'm going to special the monster that they activated. So now they're not going to get the fusion summon, and I'm going to have my Fallen of Albaz, and they're going to have a dark monster that already activated its effect, so I can use Albaz, fuse with it, not trigger it, make Lubellion, pitch, make a Mirror Jade or something. And so I could see this card actually being really strong. Also, just in that scenario I mentioned, you could just use this after they resolve searching a card and spin the Kit Kalos back. But then you're not going to really get to utilize the special summon effect or the Fallen of Albaz effect. But this card looks like it has potential, but the lines are going to be really skillful. Like, it's not going to be like a... It's going to be like Branded in Red, how you really have to survey the board state, figure out exactly when and where you want to activate this card to gain the most value, but I think it seems really good, not going to lie. Kishtira Overlap, quick play spell. Target a monster on the field, banish a monster with 15 attack, 21 defense from your hand, graveyard, or that is face up on either field, and if you do, it gains 1500. If this card becomes banished and you control a Kashtira monster, target an effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. Do these cards... Alright, these can banish not Kshatriya monsters, but cards. So... I like the banish effect, but I think that the normal, like the quick play spell effect is just kind of mid. It's like that World Chalice card that banishes to boost, but it doesn't, like, those cards aren't good. But the fact that it's got the graveyard effect could matter. I don't know. Kashtira Papayas. Oh, is it each effect at least? Yeah. It has to say each effect to even, like, be considered. But this card kind of sucks. From what I'm reading so far, I feel like I want this Papayas to be like a... You activate this as a starting card to do something. That way you put it in grave, and then it has a banish effect. That way I could activate it, do a thing, and then banish it for another thing. That's what we're hoping for, and right now reading this card. Oh, already not. You have to target a monster you control. Deck sucks. Target a Oh, actually, it's probably fine, because all of them special. Target a Kashtira monster you control. Special a Kashtira. That's Fenrir, right? Like... Yeah, it's Kashtira. I was making sure, because I think it was Kshatriya Law in the OCG. I was just making sure those archetypes are the same thing, and I wasn't confused. So, you target one, special one with a different name from your deck. Also, you can't special from the extra except XYZs. What the heck? Where'd it go? Right there. If this card becomes banished, target one of your banished Kshatriya cards, accept it, add it to your hand. That effect's really good. I like that one a lot. Prime Planet, Perios... Para-Isos. So, I'm guessing this is... Yeah, it looks like it's a Kashtira card, but it also, based on the name, might have synergy with Tier Elements or Visa Starfrost. When this card's activated, add a Kshatriya monster from your deck to your hand. Monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense for each attribute amongst monsters on the field. If Kshatriya Shangri-Ira you control activates its effect, target a card on the field, destroy it. You can only use this effect once per turn. You can only activate one once per turn. I need some water, dog. So I'm getting dehydrated reading all this. This is like a book. How long has this been so far? Dog, I've been recording for what looks like 39 minutes. That is bonkers. I'm dying right now. But next card, we don't get to stop till we're done. Scareclaw Defang. Your opponent cannot target Scareclaw Link monsters and Visa Starfrost you control with card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by an opponent's card effect. So you can't target or destroy your Scareclaws by card effect. And it's a continuous. Any monster destroyed by battle with a Scareclaw Link or a Visa Starfrost is banished. Banish a Scareclaw Link from your field or grave. Target a card your opponent controls, destroy it. You can only use this effect once per turn. I actually like this card. It's a continuous spell, so it's going to stay. It gives protection, which is pretty good. It's got removal, which is pretty good. And it's got like a lingering effect that when you attack, the monsters you kill are banished. This kind of does a lot, but it's also not very like proactive. This isn't going to... It makes our board stronger, makes our attacks stronger, helps us clear, but it's not really a consistency card. This is a kind of card you're going to brick on. But you're probably just going to like want to search when you're already ahead. New Tier Elements field spell. I read this the other day. I didn't think it was that good, but we'll read it again. Fusions and tiers gain 500 attacks. If an Aqua tier is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you could send a 4 lower Aqua from your deck to the graveyard. But if it is not a... Oh, if it's not a tier element monster, you can't activate effects. So if it is, you can. So this card's actually insane. This card says if you get lucky and hit 1 tier, guess what? You get 2. So this card's actually bonkers. If they hit our field spell, it's fine. Like if they hit the one we currently have to 1, now we have something to fill in the gap. If they don't hit it, you just play both. Now you can play Set Rotation as an extra consistency card. Hopefully they make this card budget, considering that the other field spell is like what limits players from playing this deck that are on a budget. Because if the budget players could be like, okay, this card's not as good, but we could play 3 of it because it's $5 each, that would be awesome. Giant Ball Shoot. This is probably an insect card or a vanilla card based on the name and the artwork. During the main phase, if this card was activated this turn, special a 6 or lower insect from your graveyard. You can reveal... Oh, that's already good. You can reveal an insect monster in your hand, then target a face-up monster your opponent controls, and an insect you control with lower attack than the revealed. Switch control of them, and then the monster you took becomes an insect. So, going first or second, it's an extender. And going second, it's like... It's going to kind of help you play through boards. The fact that it has that, though, is going to force them to use Omni Negates on this card, I think. Because you're going to place it... You're going to get the effect to summon, and then you're going to get the effect to try to take whatever Omni they have. And if they let you summon and then use an Omni to negate it, they're going to feel like garbage. So this card's probably going to get negated when you play it, so you might not get that extra effect as often, but this card is really cool. Abyss Actor Dress Rehearsal. The start of your main phase, 1. So this has to be the first card you play, like an Extrav type card. Add an Abyss Actor card or a script spell from your deck to your hand. Also, you can't Pendulum except for Abyss... Why? Dude, listen. Abyss Actors has never topped a tournament in history. If I'm wrong, you're wrong for thinking I'm wrong. This deck's never topped. Yet, every card has like these dumb restrictions. Like they don't want it. At the start of your main phase 1, the deck sucks. Let them search whenever they want. You can't Pendulum except for Abyss Actors. The deck sucks. Let them Pendulum whatever they want. This is so dumb. Like, I don't know. I don't even play Abyss Actors, and I'm kind of getting pissed off that they keep putting these weird restrictions. Why does this summon in my opponent's field? Let me get the monster. My deck sucks. Especially if there's... Oh my god. I don't get it. Konami, like... This set's 80 cards. It could have been 40. I'm getting a headache. Maybe it's just because I've been reading cards for 50 minutes. Maybe I'm easily irritable. But man, they're doing Abyss Actors so dirty. Give it support, but basically don't. I don't know. Target an Abyss Actor Pendulum monster you control. Special an Abyss Actor Pendulum with a different name from your deck. Then either place the targeted monster in your Pendulum zone or destroy it. So you either scale it or put it in the extra deck. If this... Yeah, it targets one you control. If this set card is destroyed and you have an Abyss Actor in your extra deck, you could target up to 2 cards on the field or turn them to the hand. Again, kind of a mid card. Yeah, it kind of sucks. I don't know. New Ninja field spell. World Shrouded in Darkness. Always treat it as a ninjutsu art card. When your ninja inflicts battle damage to your opponent, target 1 card they control, destroy it. That's like the worst way to destroy a card, but I guess we'll take it. This face-up card in the field zone leaves by an opponent's card and is sent to the grave or banished. Target any number of ninjas with different names, special and face down. I think this card's way too, like, needing your opponent to do things and needing you to do things. Like, It's a ninja deck. This card could just say once per turn destroy a card. Your ninjas don't have to pierce to give us that. And then the other effect is only if it leaves the field by an opponent's card effect. Like, why not make it so I can MST it? Make ninjas viable, but I don't know. Konami just gives decks support, but not good support, and I don't get it. New Gishki Ritual. I liked one of the Gishki cards, 2 of them actually, so maybe this one will be good too. Can use it for any Gishki. Also tribute face-up monsters your opponent controls, or monsters from your hand or field. Whoa! I like this card already, and you lose life points though, equal to the monster's attack. If this card's in your graveyard, target a Gishki monster in your grave, place it on the top of the deck, and then place this card on the bottom of the deck. I like this card already. It lets you ritual using their board, which is really cool. Like, going first, obviously, that doesn't really matter unless for some reason you're playing something that gives them monsters, which I doubt you're doing. But going second, like, your ritual spell is just way more powerful, and I like that a lot. Aquamere Focalization. Add a Gishki from your deck to your hand during the end phase. If you control a water, you can banish this card from your grave. Set an Aquamere... Oh, ho, 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 ho. I like that. Let me check the Aquamere cards real quick. Yeah, these, do they have anything good? Tribute a water. Or target a water. You control 2 waters in the grave. Add the other. Oh, that's not that good. Special Gishki Ritual from your hand. That might be fine if you summon like a interruption. Reveal a ritual spell in your hand. Target 2 in your grave. The 2 that add to hand are kind of garbage. Not like they're good. They'd be good if they were like quick play spells or something, so that we could use them proactively going first. But I was kind of hoping this would set a trap that interacted with the opponent. Evil Eye Resurrection. Send an Evil Eye monster and a spell from your deck to the grave. Add an Evil Eye equip from your deck to your hand. Also, for the rest of this turn, each time you activate a non-Evil Eye card, you lose 500 LP. That's weird. If you link this sucks in time, sadly. If you link summon an Evil Eye monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, equip an Evil Eye spell from your graveyard to an Evil Eye link you control. This card's really good, especially since we just read that guy that brings itself back from the grave and then uses equips to make stuff. Because it looks like you dump an equip and you dump the monster that's good, and then this lets you equip an Evil Eye from your graveyard to your guy. So I get to dump a monster and a spell? Let me read it again. Send an Evil Eye spell trap, which hopefully the equip spells all say Evil Eye also. If they do, then that's lit. Let me double check. Yeah. They're Evil Eye equips. So you dump a monster and an equipped, search and equip, bring back the guy from graveyard, use the spell to equip the spell you sent to him, now equip the other spell you have, and now you can use his effect to make the link 3. This, if I'm not mistaken, is like a 1-card starter for the deck. This card actually seems bonkers. The life point losing is a little annoying considering that, what's it called? Like, time is a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of games go to time, and, like, now I have to side this insane starter out of my deck going first game 3, unless, like, there's a lot of time on the clock. If you're... Oh, this card we've all read already, I'm sure, but this is, like, the most generic, crazy spell in the set. It's Triple Tactic Tasking. If your opponent has activated a monster effect this turn, it's not during the main phase, this turn. So if they Shifter in the draw phase, Dweller in the draw phase, whatever, you're still doing it. Set a normal spell trap directly from your deck. It cannot be activated this turn. Or if your opponent controls a monster, add it to your hand instead. Yeah, so if they control a monster, this card's insane. And if they control no monsters, you can't activate what you set. So you're probably not setting a normal spell. But what this does say is like, oh, say I'm playing, what's an example? Like, say I'm playing Flunder, right? And I go normal summon Eaglin, and they Ash. I can Triple Tactic Tasking, set the Harpy Trap, pass. Cool, you ashed me. Now I'm going to negate your entire turn. Turn rolls back to me next turn, and I'm going to play. This card could be very, very good in a lot of rogue strategies, and it also could be a meta contender. We'll honestly just have to see. It's also really good breaking boards going second, because, like, they're already going to have the monsters. Say I, like, summon, activate an effect, you negate it with your, I don't know, Appaloosa. I activate this, set Dark Ruler no more. Or add Dark Ruler no more to hand, I mean. Activate Dark Ruler. Now what? Now your whole board's blanked. And that's really cool, honestly. Repeated land transaction. Target a face-up card in the field zone, banish it, then place it face-up in the field zone of the opponent of the player who controlled it. Then you could choose one field spell with a different original name in the graveyard of the player who now controls the first card and place it in the field spell zone of the player who controlled the first card when it was banished. So, some very cool things off of the first reading of this. In Ishizu tier mirror matches, you can destroy their field spell, activate their field spell, but it says place, so I don't think that would count as activating it, so I don't think I'm going to get the search, but now I've got the pop and they don't, which could be cool. Another thing in that same mirror match is, like, say you're siding in 3 of this, you could also be siding in, like, 3 of this, a set rotation, and I forget the name of it. There's a couple cards that fit the script. The one I'm thinking is the Zephyra one, but there's also a Blackluster Soldier one, I believe. Field spells that have mandatory effects on activation. So then you're not going to be able to, what's it called? Actually activate them. You can put those in their spells. Oh, actually, no. This, with those, wouldn't work like set rotation. So I don't think giving them a field spell is actually going to matter that much. You could give them Mystic Mine or something, lock them under a Mystic Mine. You can give them anything else, but then they can just out it by placing a field spell. So I don't know how much that that second part will come up. But in field spell mirror matches, it's crazy. Imagine if we had this back in the day with, like, True Draco. Your opponent opens well, you brick, you just take their diagram. What? That would be nuts. Photon Declaration. We're making it into the trap cards now. Take a Photon or Galaxy continuous spell trap from your deck and either add it to your hand or place it face up. The set card... Oh, no, I did the thing. I clicked again. Oh, it went away. It went away. Look. I got my cursor back. It's not a weird circle with arrows anymore. If this set card and its owner... I can't read. I'm going crazy from all this reading. If this set card and its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect during the turn, you control Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, or an XYZ that has it as material, you can make it become the end phase. Oh my god. So that... Oh, wait. I wish it didn't have that stipulation, dog. So, like, if it didn't require you to control a Galaxy Eyes or an XYZ, imagine this in a back row deck, right? You set 5 pass. Your opponent goes, I drew the Lightning Storm. They activate it, their turn ends. That would be so cool. Say I'm playing Eldritch, and then all my back row, like, is going to float, and I still got a bunch of stuff, and they just lost a turn. That could have been really sick. But now you have to control Photon, guys, so, if there's continuous Photon or Galaxy spell traps that interact with the opponent, this could be cool because then it, like, functions as a trap. But if not, it's kind of garbage. Gigantic Thundercross. Target monsters on the field or in the graveyards equal to the difference between the number of both players' banished cards. Banish them, then your opponent gets special a monster from their deck. This card's awful. I'm not even going to read it again. Why would you want your opponent to special summon from deck? Just to banish some cards in the graveyard. That's wild. Yeah, no. Branded Inevitable. This is important. It's a branded continuous spell trap, so keep bestial monsters in mind, and also keep the Despia deck in mind when reading a card like this. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a bestial monster and no other cards, or when your opponent activates a card effect in response to a bestial, target a light or dark in either graveyard, banish it, and if you do, negate that activated effect. So if this is already on the field, you're basically guaranteeing your Bisted monsters are going to resolve. Because, like, say they send a tier name, I activate a Bisted in response, and they try to bell it, I just chain this, banish their card, you know? So, like, even if my Busted doesn't resolve, it still resolves. I still got to remove the card, I just don't have the body, but I also would have got to rip one out of their hand. So, I think this card's good. I don't think there's a world where I'm setting this instead of Branded Beast, though, just because of it being more, it requires your opponent to do something. It might prevent them from doing things, but it's not, like, going to be a hard interruption like Beast is. So, yeah, I don't think I'd set this over it. Plus, Beast gives you the spell if the spell's engraved. But it could also give you this if this is engraved. So, this could be played in tandem with, but it wouldn't replace. And then you have to consider that it is an additional Garnet. So now, like, your deck building, maybe you got to cut the spell for it. But it's not better than the spell, so I don't really know if this will make the cut in decks. I'm sure somebody's going to play it, but I don't know if I'm that somebody or not. Trivic Karma. Target a Visa Starfrost you control on an effect monster your opponent controls. Negate the opponent's monster effects, and if you do, your monster gains attack equal to half that monster's attack. You can banish this from your graveyard, add a spell trap that mentions Visa Starfrost from your deck to your hand. Okay, that effect is really good. Like, so if you were playing here's an example. I have been messing around with the card the trap card, Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, banish it, search a field spell, search a crystal beast card. In a deck like Tier Element, you could just play this instead of that with Foolish Burial Goods. And it's not going to require you to... this is the only brick you'd have to play, whereas that requires you to also play the Crystal Beast brick. And then this, if it's milled or banished... milled or sent off like a Foolish Burial Goods or something, you banish it, search a field spell. But the field spell is not the only card that lists Visa Starfrost. Like, let's look at real quick all the cards that list it. Oh, I can't. There we go. This is a lot of cards. Like, the most powerful field spell in the game right now is Search Below It. This is also a good field spell. This is an extender. I don't know what this does, even though I think we might have read it. No, we didn't. Not yet. We read this one. But, like, look at all the options. Like, it could search Crime and Soliac, too. Like, because I'm already playing Scream because when it's milled, I can get the effect to search traps. It's obviously a little more proactive in the sense that if you draw it, there's also ways to proc it by popping it with, like, your field spell or stuff. But, and it also, like, is proactive in the sense that you mill 3 by activating it and then summoning. But this card, like, is just cool. It's cool that it searches those. I think Scream talked me out of really playing it in this type of deck because, like, if I were to play Foolish Burial Goods just to search... Oh, wait, no, yeah, because Scream don't search the field spell, though. There's a world where Tier plays that card, I think, honestly. Like, this card's really, really good. But next, let's go to... this is what we were just on. So, Kashtira Big Bang. If a Kashtira XYZ is on the field, make both players banish monsters from their hand or from their field face down so they control only one. This card becomes banished. Target a Kshatriya XYZ you control, add a monster you own attached to it to your hand, then you can special it from your hand. So that's nuts, actually. You use, like, one of those quick play effects that specials on their turn, say, like, the Tier one, to banish the trap, special it, and then you could take a Fafnir that's equipped to your XYZ, add it to hand, special it. So this could turn into, like, another interruption. It's an interruption when you flip it as a trap, and then it's an interruption when banished in tandem with your other cards. This is what we want out of these. And it's only you can use each effect. This card's really, really good. I like that one a lot. Chaos Phantasm. Target 2 of your banished monsters that have a level 1 light tuner and 1 level 8 or lower dark non-tuner. Return them then to the graveyard, then special summon a synchro whose level equals those level. That is kind of cool. It's a trap, so I don't really think this will see a lot of play, but I like it. This could be cool. Yo, Zach, if you're watching, this would be pretty good in the cube, honestly. My boy Zach, if you guys don't know, has got an all-archetype cube. His channel's 9th Gym's the Pokemon one. Nostalgio, if you like older Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Master Duel stuff. And hopefully it will start doing more cube stuff on it. But yeah, this would be cool in like his all types and attributes cube. Big Welcome Labyrinth trap card. Special summon a Labyrinth from your hand, deck, or graveyard, then return a monster you control to the hand. I don't like that it's got a return. I don't know the archetype well enough to know if they benefit from that, though. You can banish this from the grave. Target a fiend you control, or if you control level 8 or higher fiend, target a monster, or target a card your opponent controls instead, return it to the hand. You can only use one effect per turn, and only once that turn. I was hoping that... I don't know the strategy, but if there's a way for us to summon level 8s on our opponent's first turn, then going into a Shizu, this effect is good. Because, like, if you milled it and then got to use it as an interruption, that would be kind of nice. Otherwise, this doesn't seem that good. Because, you special the Labyrinth, and you have to return one. Which requires you to have another monster for this to be good. So it's not even, like, a starter. It's a trap card, so it's already slow, and then it's not a starter. But, like, it might be good in the archetype. I don't really know how that deck works that well yet. If your opponent controls at least 2 or more monsters than you do, they must send monsters they control to the graveyard, so they control 1. Okay. I think I like this card, actually. I think this is not the type of card that is going to be, like, a staple in trap decks, like a card like Solemn Warning or Judgment is. But this is a card that I could see seeing play. I think, like, my first thought is Eldritch. When I personally build Eldritch strategies, I like having traps like Rivalry Goes and stuff like that help clear the board, stuff like Torrential, Needle Sealing, things like that can contribute to breaking boards. And then I like cards like Strike, Skill Drain, Breakthrough, like Effect Negation that could negate the monster they have that would stop the board breaker from resolving. And this does fit the script as a board breaker. And sometimes, like, I've played Needle Sealing in side decks, and there's often times where they won't put 4 monsters on board. And so this just basically says no matter how many, 2 or more monsters, I can get rid of up to all of them but 1. And so I actually really, really like this card. Next, we've got Red Vinegar Crossing, Continuous Trap. You can only control 1. If your opponent controls a card in this set card's column, activate this card, return all other cards in the column to the hand. Neither player can use the unused zone in this card's column. So this in trap decks would kind of be nuts against link decks if you could put up a link. An example I would think of would be, say I'm playing Altergeist, right? They don't link too often, but all their guys are spellcasters, so they could go into Artemis. So, say you summon either Meliseek link into Artemis, or you summon the one that sets a trap link into Artemis, and then set this in the other link zone, and you're playing against a link strategy, they're going to make their first link monster, you're going to flip this, return it, and now they're out of link summoning until they can out your Artemis, which all Artemis ain't that big. It's probably easy to out, but you kind of see what I'm saying. That's just the first example I could think of. If you can play a trap deck that occupies one link zone against a link strategy, you can keep the other one unoccupied. Another good example would actually be Striker, because say they put up they're going to have their blue in their extra deck zone. On your turn, even if you were to crash it to try to free a zone to use, they're going to bring back Ray tag out into Kakari or Shizuku at a card at the end phase or right now. And now the zone's blocked again, and your other zone is locked out. So if you're a link strategy, you're just not playing the game. So this and again, how I was saying in trap decks, I like cards that help break the board. This card also can be set and help you break the board by clearing a monster in the extras monster zone, a monster that's under it, and the spell that's behind it. And then the last trap in the set, Threatening or Summonite. Target 3 monsters in your graveyard, choose one of them, and then your opponent chooses one of these effects. Either special summon the monster you chose or the 2 you did not. This card, I think, is very niche, but could see play in the future. This, again, would be a really cool cube card, too. Because it's like, I can't think of a deck in real Yu-Gi-Oh! That this would be good, but if you guys know cube format, it's like a format where every card is at 1, and, like, it's just like a custom format. And I could see this being good where you're like, target a couple Light Sworns, or target, like, a Disc Commander and 2 other cards, and your opponent's like, do I want to let him draw 2, or get, like, 2 crazy monsters? And I could see in that type of thing it being good, but in modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, this might be too slow. But we'll see. This card also has potential. And so I finally finished the main deck cards. I'm going to get into the extra deck now. And right here, this I think is my favorite card in the set so far. And this card is bonkers. Given I haven't read the other extra deck cards yet, but this card I've read a couple times now because I've been playing Branded Tier as like my main deck recently, and I love this. So it takes Blazing Cartesia the Virtuous plus a lighter dark monster. And now let me stress how good this is already. This could be a vanilla. This could have no effect at all. But the requirements to fusion summon are what makes this card insane to me. In Branded Tier, there's a lot of times where, like, if you resolve Branded in High Spirits, you're searching Cartesia. And then you're able to special Cartesia when you resolve the Branded line because you're going to put Fallen of Albaz in Grave. And then, so now, when you special the Cartesia, a lot of times I want there to be something that I can use Cartesia plus a tier element to make, and there's currently nothing. Until this comes out. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but Blazing Cartesia the Virtuous is named Blazing Cartesia the Virtuous, and all the tier elements except Rhino Heart are dark. So this makes that, and Cartesia has a quick effect. So like on my turn, I'll fuse with like a Tragedy or my Aluber if I normal Deluber, and a tier, make the Masquerade, leave the Cartesia. On their turn, I can now use Cartesia and a tier to make this, trigger the tier, and so then, like, this card just as a vanilla would be good, fitting those the confines of what I've been wanting for the deck. But then, the card also has crazy effects. If this card is fusion summoned, send a level 6 or higher lighter dark monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. That is nuts already. Like, and all the fucking cards in this archetype in the extra deck have effects in Grave. And this just dumps them. It's like Mirror Jade, except you don't have to be banishing a card to do it. So you can use this on your turn 0 to set up by sending an Albion or something, and now you can save your Mirror Jade banish for their turn. And a lot of the times, like, you're like, oh, it doesn't matter if I use my Mirror Jade banish. I'm just going to, like, I'm going to use Adlib with red, Brandon in red, bring back the Mirror Jade. If you play Tragedy still, I think after this, we're not playing Tragedy. I don't think that card's that good anymore. But maybe I'm wrong. You correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a brick. But even if you are playing it, why not just have 2 Mirror Jades, you know? Like, this card's really, really crazy. And then if a monster special summoned by an opponent's activated effect, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard, special a Dogmatica monster from your deck or a Despia monster from your extra deck. You're probably summoning a Despia monster from the extra deck. You could be summoning a Dogmatica, but I can't really think. Like, let's look real quick. Dogmatica. You could search you could get Ecclesia for a search. You could summon this, which does nothing. Like, I'd have to like reread some of these, but the Dogmatica from deck seems garbage. But the Despia from extra deck can get you one of these 2 guys, which in the current format, I think Praskinian is nuts. Like, people are sleeping on this card. This card's really good. But yeah, so this card is already really good. It lets you banish it from field or graveyard, which is important too. So if you have a way to dump this to grave, it's kind of lit. Another thing that is crazy with this card, I think that Shaddolls are going to be the wave in this deck, because if people are playing a Shizus, I want to be putting windows up on their first turn. Because if they're going to make me mill 10 and I hit a Squamata in a tier or a Beast in a tier, and I have the chance to just win the game right there, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? And so then if you're playing that kind of stuff, then what's it called? What was I even saying? Oh, yeah. If you're still playing Branded in High Spirits, this card is a spellcaster with 25 attack that's a level 8 fusion. So I can activate Branded in High Spirits, send Squamata to graveyard, send this to graveyard, search the Blazing Cartesia, and then this card's now in graveyard, so when my opponent activates an effect, I could use the effect to give me a card, and I get the Shaddol effect. Say Squamata, then I'll send Beast, then I'll draw. Like, that's really good. I really like it. I like this card a lot. It does a lot. That play is probably not going to come up too much, but the fact that it's already going to be in your extra deck and then gives you more lines with cards that are sometimes dead is really cool. This card I remember also being nuts. This card, Lurdwin the Gunhammer Dragon. He's called a dragon, but he's a winged beast, and he looks like a machine. Konami's weird. But he takes Fallen of Albaz plus a Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast, which already, I can't necessarily think of a lot of crazy ones. I'm pretty sure that Mercurier's a Beast or a Winged Beast. So you can dump that as a grave effect you could get some value off of, which can also be banished off a Bisted to get a search or something if you play those. But then when a Synchro, Fusion, Exe, or Link effect is activated, you can negate that effect, then return 1 monster on the field to the hand. So that's a double interruption, because you could put back not the card you're negating. If you let them play a little bit, negate one, bounce the other, they just got 2 for 1. And then during your opponent's turn, if this card's in your graveyard, keeping in mind it lists Fallen of Albaz, so you can dump this off Mirror Jade. Quick effect: you can target a Fallen of Albaz in your graveyard, or both. Wait. During your opponent's turn, you can target one Fallen of Albaz, or if both are still in your graveyards. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I was misreading how this works. So if this card's in your graveyard, target Fallen of Albaz. Then at resolution, if both of these cards are in the graveyard, you special one, banish the other. So, say I'm dumping this off of Mirror Jade, I'm not going to be able to bring it back because it hasn't been properly summoned first. But say I Mirror Jade, banish a card, send this. Now I'm going to banish this, summon Fallen of Albaz. Albaz effect, fuse with their board. Say I take a fusion, make Draco's Stapelia. Mirror Jade became 3 interruptions through this card. That's crazy. This card is like literally bonkers. Plus the fact that it takes a Beast, Beast Warrior, Wing Beast. We have to explore now every Beast, Beast Warrior, and Wing Beast in the game because they can all be sent from deck to grave off Branded Fusion. So that's probably going to be a video in and of itself. Best targets to send off Branded Fusion for this card. That's another thing. If y'all are still here and you've been watching this for legitimately an hour, let me know some video topics you have that I could discuss after doing this. I've already got a bunch brewing in my mind, but oh my god, this is crazy. All right. Perfect Great Insect. Level 9 Earth Insect Fusion. 3,000 attack, 26 defense. It takes a level 8 insect monster plus a level 7. Must either be fusion summoned or from the extra deck by attributing 1 insect you control with 2,000 or more defense equipped with an equipped card. I like that. You could just tribute a guy with an equipped card, special this. So that makes those guys that equipped it earlier potentially good if this has a good effect. Once per turn during the battle phase, if a face-up card is in the field zone, you can destroy. Oh god. Okay, this card's good. This is the buff that insects could use. And some things to note, there's cards like the Link 2 that just equips a guy. The Insector one. That card's really good. The whole Insector archetype is insects that equip guys. This is just a cool card. This is a good card for plants. I'm happy reading this. Next, we've got a Ninja card. Level 5 Dark 2K Machine Fusion. 2 Ninja monsters with different types. Must either be fusioned or special by tributing the above card. So you can also contact fuse this card. If this card's special summoned or flip face up, banish one other Ninja or Ninjutsu art card from your hand, graveyard, or face up field, and target a card on the field. Banish it. I don't think any of our effects proc when banished, so I kind of wish this didn't have that weird stipulation. Because, like, I don't know, this just isn't that good to me. A banish one is a good effect. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a quick effect. It's only on summon. I don't know if the deck has ways to fusion it on their turn, or on your opponent's turn. Going second, it could help you break through a board, but that's all I really see for that card. Next, we got a Valence of the Wireframe Abyss, Arcus 12. I'm guessing it's level 12. Its scales are 12. And it's got a lot of text. You can activate one of these effects. This is the Pendulum effect. Special this card to your main monster zone in its same column. Move one monster in your main monster zone to an adjacent monster zone. You can only use this effect once per turn. It's going to be hard to get it in the Pendulum zone. I'm assuming it's going to have a monster effect that when it's destroyed puts it in the scale, though. He takes 2 level 5 or higher Valence to make. This face-down card in the extra deck must be special by tributing the above. Oh, tributing. All these cards that are fusion in this set outside of the branded ones let you contact fuse them, which is really nice. Excuse me. You can only use each effect once per turn. Quick effect. Switch the locations of 2 monsters in your main monster zone or 2 monsters in your opponent's main monster zone. If a card in the monster zone moves to another monster zone, destroy a card on the field. It said you could use each effect once per turn, right? Yeah, so you get to move 2, pop 1, which is kind of mid, but I could see matchups where it's good. Again, like, in a future, like, right now we're in a fusion format, kind of, but if we have, like, a very link-heavy format where specific combos revolve around zones, like back when we had Dragon Links and they had a Pisty in a certain zone, a card like this could be really strong because, like, they summon Pisty, Agripane, the other one. You just move them. It's like, cool, now your zones don't work. And then I get to pop a card. But outside of that, this card doesn't seem that good. Ice Jade, Irigrind, Gimmer. 1 water monster, or 1 water tuner plus a non-tuner monster. Level 10, it looks like. Yeah, level 10. It's so hard to count these cards as you go. Like, I'm so fatigued of reading and counting. Quick effect, make face-up monsters you control become unable to be destroyed by or banished by your opponent's card effects for the rest of the turn. Then, if this was activated in response to the activation of an opponent's card or effect, banish all cards with that name on your opponent's field and in their graveyard. Whoa, I like that a lot. If a card's banished by an opponent's card effect while this card's in your grave, special this card. This card, I don't see how you're really summoning this. Like, I don't know what decks play water tuners, but I do like this card a lot. I could see it having potential. Chaos Archfiend. Chaos is in the name. It's a level 8 Dark Fiend, 25/18. I could see this being good already. 1 light tuner plus a non-tuner dark. We saw cards that make this more possible already in this set. Gain 2k attack during the turn a card's banished, so 4,500 if you banish. Also, Abyssdid's in mind. This could be 4,500 every turn. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls each. Also, banish any monster destroyed by battle with this card. So if they have a big board, this can attack into 25 into something. It gets banished. This effect should activate, making it 45, and now you just clear everything else. This card and its owner's control leaves the field by an opponent's card, especially Chaos Synchro from your extra deck. And the other Chaos Synchro, which we're about to read, is crazy. So, like, this is a level 8 Synchro that could just let you go for a game, and then it's going to let you, if it dies, float into this card, which, if I'm not mistaken, was really good in grind games. This, speaking of the cube, like I was talking about earlier, this is in my buddy's X cube right now. He's got it proxied, and this card is crazy. Takes a light tuner and a non-tuner dark. Gains 1,000 attack during the turn a card is banished. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You can target one of your banished light or darks, add it to your hand. Crazy. If this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, banish a light or dark from your hand or grave, special summon this card. Some things I like about this, it's like a level 6 that comes back every turn. It adds back banished cards, and we're playing in a Abyssdid format. We're playing with tier elements, we're playing with Abyssdid. If the format's similar when these cards come out, Imagine you're like going first. You make this, you banish a card to summon a Bisted. You use this, add that card back, overlay for Beatrice or whatever other like rank 6 you want, and like full combo from there. I think this card's gonna be really cool. And then it's in the graveyard. You can banish Lightning Darks to bring it back. Say you're playing a Thunder Dragon strategy, banish Roar, banish some light that gives you value. This comes back. Effective Roar, summon Dark, link away, search Hawk, Hawk summon Roar, overlay. Like, this is going to be crazy. Jesse Cotton's going to break this card if I don't break it by then. Like, this card's going to be broken. Just give it some time or give it some research and you'll be the one to break it. Hopefully you'll let me get the video if it's you, though. Plunder Patrol Ship Jord. Level 8 Earth. Everyone that plays this deck has been wanting an Earth. I think it's the only attribute they don't have. It's a Pendulum Synchro. We'll read its monster effect first. Tuner plus non-tuner monster. If your opponent special summons a monster, you also usually are summoning this off plunder effects, not off of like a synchro summon. If your opponent special summons a monster, you can add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. Then if it's equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, which it usually is equipped with the link to, special a Plunder Patrol monster from your deck. You can target one Plunder Patrol card in your graveyard, add it to your hand, and if you do, place this card in your Pendulum Zone. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, say they summon an Earth, we use the link 2, we're going to summon this, equip the link 2, draw a card, and then if your opponent specials, you're going to search, and then you're going to special from deck, a guy that probably tags out, or gets value in some way, and then you can target a Plunder Patrol card in your graveyard, add it to your hand, which is going to give you more value. Then you put it in the scale, and then in the scale, you can declare an attribute, return this card to the extra deck, and then special a token of that attribute, level 4/0/0 Fiend, with that attribute to both players' fields. Which is cool, because then it lets the link 2 use anything you want. And I think you can use the link... it's a Plunder Patrol token, so you can use the token to make the link your token, and then you give them a token of any attribute that you want to summon any ship that you want. So this card's really strong for that archetype, actually. Next, we've got Circle of Fairy. Again, it's called Fairy, but it's a plant. Level 7, Wind. The level 3 Wind Tuner we read earlier could be used to make this, along with some sort of level 4. Could be played in like a Naturia strategy or something, just based off what it takes to make. Well, it's actually generic. Tuner plus non-tuner. During the main phase, normal summon an insect or plant in addition to your normal summon. That's already good. When a monster is destroyed by battle involving a plant or insect, target one of those destroyed monsters, inflict damage equals half, and then gain life. That could be neat when you're close to time. Also, if you have effects that proc off of it. Otherwise, this card's kind of mid. The extra normal summon's really nice, though. I could see that being used in like a long, intricate FTK combo or just like a crazy board. But I don't think this card's going to be good early on. Like, this ain't a card that you first read and you're like, yo, I need to make a plant strategy around it, you know? But if later down the road we get more plant cards that are good, I could see this being really strong. It also actually just like, it makes Destrudo a cool combo piece in the deck. Because like, say, summon any plant, special Destrudo, make this, get to normal summon another plant, then pop off, I guess. I don't know. A rank 8 Neo Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon Light takes 3 level 8 lights, or you can use number 62 as material and transfer the materials. Start of the battle phase, detach 1. This card can make up to 3 attacks. Then if it has Galaxy Eyes Photon as material, it's unaffected by your opponent's card effects and gains attack equal to the combined levels and ranks of all monsters times 100. That card's fine, I guess. Galaxy Photon Dragon, rank 4. This is kind of what I want to see if we get something good off Galaxy Summoner. All other lights gain 500. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. Detach, take a Photon or Galaxy card from your deck and either add it to hand or send it to the graveyard. That effect's already insane. If a light monster that has a level special summoned, its level becomes 4 or 8. So that's fine. I think the searching is really good. And I think this was generic, right? Yeah, so it being generic means that there's even a world where we find a generic Photon or Galaxy card that's insane and we're able to search it. Oh, wait a minute. I want to see something goofy. Pretty sure the search is Galaxy Cyclone. Yeah. So this is you could play this instead of Tornado Dragon. Obviously it requires this like Garnet, but it gives you spell removal that's searchable that then is spell removal engraved too. Is there any other like really generic searched card off this? None that I... Oh! Oh my god! Guys, This is a generic rank 4 that searches Galaxy Soldier. I like that a lot. That is really, really good. This card also just got a reprint. I should probably buy the reprints up. This is really good. Oh my lord. Alright. I need to breathe after that one. I'm really happy seeing that. Real quick, let's look up Photon too. There's probably not any real good Photon cards to search, though. Photon Popper Operative, Photon Thrasher, like, those are extenders. Wait, Popper Operative is a rank 4. What the hell am I saying? This is alright. Shuffle 3 lights back, then add a level 1 to 3 level 4s from your deck to your hand. Then if you had 2 or more, they must have the same name. I don't know. This could be a cool card to search off it too. This is just crazy that it can search anything. Not anything, but like it's generic and then could search a lot of cool cards. Gigantic Champion Sargus. 2 level 8s, 2800 attack. Oh, 2 plus level 8s. 2800 attack, fire. Once per turn, you can also XYZ this by using a Spriggan's XYZ you control. Transfer the materials. If this card has a material, add a Spriggan or Therion from your deck to your hand. I already like that a lot. If you're playing a Spriggan or Therion strategy, this card's really good. It's also a machine, so if you were to search the machine, the Regulus, and then link this away or something, you get to have the material to summon the Regulus right away. If a material is detached from a monster on the field, you can target 1 card on the field, either destroy it or return it to the hand. That's kind of cool because this quick play spell detaches to special. So you could detach special pop. That's kind of neat. Kashtira Arise Heart. Level 7, takes 3 level 7s, 3000 attack and defense, dark, machine. Once per turn, if Kashtira Sangri Era activated its effect. Which one is that? Is that this? I don't know which one is that. Maybe it's out already. I'll have to check. Let's actually check real quick. Because I think that came up earlier. You know, in hindsight, guys watching this, I probably should have streamed this. And then uploaded the stream as this video. Yeah, this is the main one that's already out. Maybe I'll do that in the future. Because then I could, like, have the dialogue on the side, too. And I can mention stuff you guys say. Like, that would be kind of sick. Let me know if you're still watching and in the comments if you would be down to, like, watch this on a live stream instead. And if you would give me feedback during it. But back to reading. Back to reading. Once per turn, if that monster we just looked at activates its effects this turn, you can also XYZ this card by using a Kashtira you control, transferring the materials if it's an XYZ. Any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead, so Macrocosmos, that's insane. Once per chain, each time a card is banished, attach 1 banished card to this card as material. Once per turn, quick effect, detach 3. Target a card on the field, banish it face down. Dog, this card's kind of crazy. Macrocosmos, built-in summoning condition to make it easier, built-in negate, once per chain attaches things. Yikes, I like this card. Alright, this card is really, really good. Oh my lord. I kind of want to play this Kashtira deck now. That's how good this card is, actually. When this set comes out, this is the anti-meta strategy if a Shizu tier is still running shit. Like, this deck will make them fold if it's as easy as it seems right now to bring this card out. And then the last XYZ we have is this generator boss that I'm not going to try to pronounce. Fire, rank 9, fairy, 25 attack and defense. You can only control 1 of him. All monsters your opponent controls lose 1000 attack and defense. Quick effect, you contribute this XYZ summoned card. Special a non-fairy generator XYZ from your extra deck, then attach cards from your field to or graveyard as materials. This seems mid. Like, why would you not just summon the other card you're trying to summon? I don't know. Maybe it cheats something else that's harder to get out, but I don't know the generator strategy, and I'm assuming that it's not a good strategy because it sees no play, and I'm assuming that in order for it to see play, it would need good new cards. Not something that's just going to let you cheat out an old card. Like, if the old cards are good, the deck would probably see play. Not trying to shit on you if you're a generator player, but you know how it'd be. Next, we get to read some links. This one I think I've read before, and I think it's crazy. It's just a Tri-Brigade that takes 5 to make, so we're going to assume it's a boss monster. It's got 3500 attack. It's a winged beast. And this is probably going to be nuts, so let's give it a read. cannot be specialed from the extra deck if you have 2 or less Tri-Brigade spell traps in your graveyard. So you have to have 3 or more Tri-Brigade spell traps in your graveyard. And now I don't think this card is good, because you only play Revolt. All other ones suck. When you special summon a monster, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects. When a monster declares an attack, you can banish this card. Also banish all cards your opponent controls. If this card is sent to the graveyard, send a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast from your extra deck to the grave. Okay, so everything on this card would make it a good card, aside from having 2 or more, or I mean, you need to have 3 or more Tri-Brigade spell traps in grave. If I'm not mistaken, they all suck, and we didn't get any new ones. I don't remember what these do, and I've read enough cards today that I'm not reading more. But I'm pretty sure we would not want to splash these in just to make that card makeable. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. It might be worth it. Next, we got an Abyss Actor Link 2. That's kind of cool, because I think they've only had a Link 1 up to this. This is another instance, though, where it would be cool if the guy summoned to your own field instead of giving your opponent a level 4 extender, because then you could, like, normal summon, make this Link 2, pendulum the 2 guys you use. 2 monsters, including a Fiend. During the main phase, quick effect, target a face-up card you control, destroy it, then apply one of these effects. Place Abyss Playhouse from your deck to your field zone. Place an Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your deck into your Pendulum zone. So it lets you place a scale, which I don't mind. I just wish that, like, this card is an extender for me, goddammit. Like, this could be really good, but you also have to destroy cards you control. Wait, do these... What other one was, the scripts. Can they be procced off your own cards? No, it's got to be an opponent's card effect. God damn. They want the deck to suck. Someone please show me this deck does something, because I'm getting pissed. But the last card I have to read. A Link 2 points up and down. Cyberse Link Earth 22 attack. 2 monsters, including a ritual monster. So this is already not generic. You got to be playing rituals. This card's special summon to target a card on the field and a ritual monster in your graveyard. Shuffle both into the deck. You're always going to have a ritual monster in the graveyard because this takes a ritual to make, unless for some reason you like brought it back with a card that says it's banished when it leaves the field, or they have a Macrocosmos type card. And it also says shuffle both cards, so if you're using a light or dark ritual, they can banish Abyssed to interrupt this, basically. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, tribute this card, target a ritual in your graveyard, add it to your hand or special it. This could be good if the rituals have effects, like, I don't really know what an example would be, but I don't know, like if you bring back, dude, I can't think of a good instance for this card, but maybe it's good. But guys, I'm not even going to lollygag at the end of this video. It has literally been an hour and a half of me just reading cards. I'm done. Let me know if you want more content based on this set and what that content would be like. Do you want to see an insect strategy using the new cards? Do you want to see Bisted? Do you want to see Galaxy? Do you want to see Despia, Abyss Actor, Gishki, Chaos? Those are the 7-8 decks that seem like they got a bunch of support this deck, or this set. So let me know which ones you want to see, and thank you for watching this video. This was long as shit. Goodbye.